So this is part 2 of the budget detail report recording. And as I mentioned on the last recording, the operating cost is budgeted in this area. And now we'll talk about the admin cost. The admin salary table works exactly like the operating cost table. And I've populated some information here for you to see. It's on the same premise with the base salary, fringe benefits, number of daily hours on SFSP, number of days spent on SFSP duties, and then the total to be paid from the SFSP account. I did not indicate on the operating cost table that if you click, you can add rows here to add additional positions and information, salary information. Okay. Okay. So the admin cost, it totals the admin cost and populate it here for you. Again, pay attention to those line items that have asterisks. If you do budget for that, you will need to provide us with supporting documentation. For example, if you're going to do rent or office space, we will need a copy of the rent or office space lease agreement to be uploaded with your documents. And you have to click these boxes that indicate that you understand by budgeting any of the line items, the asterisks you have to submit. Whether you budget or not, you will have to click those boxes. So it's taken our SFSP cost. Our total operating cost was $19,000, and our total admin cost was $3,500. So it's totaled our summer food service program cost. It's given us a total projected SFSP reimbursement. And on line 3, it says excess SFSP revenue amount from the prior program year or previous participation in SFSP. So each year as returning sponsors, we require that you send us a summary, financial summary of the previous year. If you had any excess funds left over, put that in here on your budget detail report, and that what you put here should equal the amount that's on your upload of your financial summary report. Okay? And if you have any other additional funding, you can put that here and it will total. And other funding sources, if you put anything, any amount here, other funding sources, you'll need to enter there. So right now it looks like that the balance we'll have left over after operating the summer feeding program for this fictitious site is $19,795.75. It's probably not very accurate, but this is just for demonstration purposes. You need to complete the adult meal information. Will meals be served to non-program adults? And I'm going to say yes. Will meals be provided at no cost to non-program adults? I'm going to say no. And if I say no to that, it needs to know what your prices are. Okay. If you say yes, meals will be provided at no cost to non-program adults, you have to enter a funding source for that because SFSP cannot pay for the cost for the price of the meals or the cost of the meals for non-program adults. Enter the miscellaneous, identify how excess funds will be used. You have several options here. For each one of these selections, you'd also need to expand in this comment box. Okay. So for this one I selected kept for next year's SFSP operation, provide a brief explanation. And you do have to put something in those boxes. So I'm going to save. and I have errors, so we'll go back and see what errors we have. It says meals will be provided at no cost to non-program adults, funding source must be indicated. So I'm going to scroll back and I'm going to say local as my funding source. And now my budget has been saved and I don't have any issues with my budget now. And let's go back to the application packet. So I've completed the sponsor application, the management plan, the food production facility list, the budget detail. I can't do the field trip form because the application has not been approved, and I have entered information for my site application document. Yeah. So again, the important thing about the budget detail is to make sure you do that as one of your last documents. And if you'd like to find out what you did last year, you can just go here, change the year, and pull up your budget detail report from the previous year, and it will give you that information, the budget that you were approved for last year. Okay. So that ends the budget detail explanation, and we will have more information forthcoming about how we want to work out that kitchen and site labor and admin labor. So thank you very much.